Myths and legends. Things that chill our bones and tickle our curiosity. Reality, or just something we inherited through history? Are you ready to find out about something new? Vampires are a popular myth in modern culture. I dare to say that they are one of the most known mythological creatures in existence. First introduced by Bram Stoker's novel Dracula, which character was based on the notorious Count Vlad III Tepes. From that moment on, vampires started showing up in all forms of modern pop culture. Today, vampires even became a means of desire, as they are mostly shown as strong, beautiful, yet dangerous creatures. As such a popular myth, I could turn this into a whole series and go through the world's history, but that is something that has been done too many times. Instead, I will be talking about the history of Croatian vampires and let you in on a few details that might interest or even shock you. Vampires have appeared in early Croatian history, although they weren't called vampires at first. In the south parts of Croatia, there have been mentions of Denevir or Mrauk that date all the way back to the days when people still worshipped old Slavic gods. Denevirs or Mrauks were known as night specters and have been described as bat-like creatures. Unfortunately, that's all the information we managed to find out about these creatures. But there are many records of vampiric creatures in the eastern and south parts of Croatia, where they have been known as kodlaks. Maybe the most interesting thing to mention about kodlaks is that they have been, in fact, one and the same thing as yet another popular mythological creature, werewolf. So, through Croatian history, vampires and werewolves have been known as one and the same thing. In time, the legends about these creatures separated. Unlike the popular image we know today, Croatian vampires were hideous creatures described as follows: undead men or women, with gruesome red or purple skin, swollen purple lips, sunken eyes, and rotten black teeth. They attacked people and animals, killing them and drinking their blood. One legend even says that they often attack dogs in the middle of the night, and even today some people believe that if you hear dogs barking in the middle of the night, they are barking out of fear because they smell vampires nearby. There are many beliefs of how one used to become a vampire. In some parts of Croatia, it is believed that vampires were created by violent death. In other parts, it is said that all people who weren't baptized or were born out of a legal marriage turned into vampires once they died. But probably the most bizarre belief was that all babies that were born in a black or a white placenta were doomed to become these bloodthirsty monsters. It is believed that a vampire can be stopped only by hawthorn, decapitation, and by burning the body. Allegedly, a single thorn from the hawthorn tree would often be pierced through the skin of a deceased, and this tradition can be found through most parts of Europe. But why hawthorn? As everything, this part of mythology has a different theory, ranging from the story of Judas who hanged himself from a mentioned tree, to the stories that it is the most sacred tree in the entire universe, and up to the stories involving demons who live on the tree and will give you the magic thorn in exchange of an offering. One of the more popular stories about vampires in Croatia is the story of Jure Grando. He used to live in an Istrian town Kringa, and his story is well known even today. It is said that Jure tormented his wife and the rest of the villagers for 16 long years until his grave was opened in the year 1672. The legend goes that he would be seen walking through the village after he died, carrying a dead sheep on one of his shoulders and a cat on the other. He would be seen eating the raw flesh of the sheep and sharing it with his cat. After his grave was opened, 16 years after his death, his corpse was allegedly found completely intact and smiling. after a hawthorn stake was placed through his heart and his head was chopped off, Jure's torment stopped. But the stories live on. There are 100 of interesting stories about vampires through our history, and as I said, I could do a whole series about them, but that would mean you wouldn't find out about other lesser known legends. But I have yet another story about a vampire that can't remain untold, because it is so bizarre and unbelievable at the same time. In the Middle Ages, in a Mediterranean town Šibenik, townsfolk were convinced that a deceased man was a vampire. So they ventured to the cemetery with an intention of preventing his corpse from crawling out and wanted to stop him from upcoming torture. Unlucky for them, the accused man died of plague. As they drove a stick through his heart, the disease spread and eventually the whole town got sick. It is said that this event happened in the month of May, and until recently, no one wanted to get married in May in Šibenik because of this unfortunate event. So, there you have it, a brief history of vampires in Croatia. Are they a myth, or are they reality? It is up to you to find out. And remember, there is always something lurking out there, just waiting to suck your blood. Hey guys, thank you for listening. So, as usual, thank you for sharing, liking, subscribing, everything else. And what to say? My name is Jelena Hrvoj. This is once again one of Croatia's myths and legends. So don't let the vampires bite, and I don't know, hear you next week. Bye!